Today on A Drink with Dave, my favorite comic and the host of Never Not Funny, Jimmy Pardo.
You know, my dream was growing up was the host of The Tonight Show, and I've been given an opportunity to go on The Tonight Show stage every day.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the one and only Jimmy Pardo. We can make some noise, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing against this.
I don't know.
The crew can't make some
Bars
noise.
are usually quiet, so we might want to keep it like that.
Usually dead quiet. How you been, Jimmy Pardo?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Good. So talk me through the whole Conan like when the Tonight Show ended. You were behind the scenes with all the writers and whatnot.
Yes.
Was that? I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Sure. I'm not a spokesman for the show by any means.
Sure. But what was the mood like during that whole mishigas, if I may use the Jewish word?
I'm glad you used it. It was the weirdest thing in the world. It was. Right? I was at home, and all of a sudden, like on CNN, it popped up. TMZ reports Jay Leno getting canceled or something along those lines. Like, oh wow, that's amazing. That's great news because his lead-in was horrible. And then within seconds, it went from TMZ reporting Leno to get Tonight Show job back, Conan out.
Right.
Oh my God! Now I'm out of it. Not only is it a fun show, I'm out of a job. Maybe. I called a friend, one of the writers, and I said, "What's the vibe over there?" He goes, "We're all going nuts. This is the craziest thing. We just found out from TMZ."
Right. Everybody found out through the news.
So then he goes, "Hey, Conan's calling a meeting in 5 minutes." I was like, "Well, I couldn't get there in 5 minutes," but I rushed over to work.
Did you run like that?
Yeah. That was actually me staring. I got a tiny car, or I run very compactly. So I get there, and I was like, "What the vibe?" And they go, "It's rumor. It's all good. It's TMZ. You know what I mean? So somebody's planted something. It's not. This isn't happening." And then the day went on, and we're literally at ground zero. We're there, but we're all looking at our phones for more information because the show's going on. Conan's on stage with Jeff Ross. We're doing a show.
Right.
But we're all in the back with our phones going, what do they say now?
Yeah.
What's Jay Leno doing now? That was really weird to be where we should be getting all the info, but we're on our phones looking for it because there's a show going on. And then I just read the book, by the way, the War for Late Night that Bill Carter just put out about this whole thing. I know the word surreal is overused, but it's so surreal to read, oh, so that's what was happening while we were doing this. Putting all the pieces together. Oh my God, I was in my car when that phone call happened. I was warming up the audience when that meeting, really bizarre, you know?
It's gotta be.
So then each day Conan had a meeting, and each day was more, and this is in the book, I'm not speaking out of school. Every day was like, it's just a rumor, it's not happening. Hey, there might be something to this. They want us to move to midnight. And then the next one was, this isn't looking good. Jay Leno wants his job back, and they're kind of saying, okay. And so that means we're out. And again, it's in the book. You saw him go from he looked beat up. He looked exhausted. He probably didn't sleep for 3 days.
Right.
His dream is being taken away from him. And he still has to go out and be funny every night. And then when he put out that letter saying, I'm not going to take the job, I'm not going to make that move to 1205, you have that weird, good for him, he shouldn't take that. Oh, that means I'm not employed. And everybody, and
people moved
from New York.
Right.
So then people are kind of walking around as like zombies, like, I just moved my family here. This is crazy, but he's right. He should be doing this.
Yeah.
You don't take 1205, because 1205 is going to become 1235. And then 1235 is going to be, well, Jimmy Fallon's doing great, and then he's gone. So he made the right call. But it was hard. But then once that decision was made, he did 2 weeks of the greatest shows.
Right.
He was so loose and funny and biting, and it was great. Those 2 weeks were great.
Tell me how Never Not Funny started.
Oh, boy. Never Not Funny started in 2006, the year of our Lord. I had been doing a talk show at the UCB Theater. Right. Here in Los Angeles, California. I would have celebrities on, and we would, or comics and comics, and we would talk and just, stand-ups could either do their material on the thing or we would just riff.
Right.
And then this guy named Matt Belknap was he was a fan of it, and he also runs the website aspecialthing.com, which is, I guess the premier, to overuse that word, alternative comedy website, news group, community.
It's the hub.
So he said, why don't we turn that into a podcast? I didn't know what that meant.
Right.
But I said yes.
It was 2006?
So we did it. And we went from 300 listeners somehow, maybe through a special thing or through my mailing list, 300 to 1,000 to 2,000 to blah, and now, It's huge.
Right.
And we charge money for it, which we made that decision 2 years ago.
Since the start of Never Not Funny, the audience for your shows at UCB have like gone through the roof.
Not only that, those have gone through the roof, and so have my live shows around the country.
When did crowd work become such a huge part of
Crowd work was a big part of when I did open mics.
Right.
I did crowd work, and I took a lot of chances, and I was very risky. Because this was the late 80s where everybody, not everybody, 90% of the guys were trying to be Seinfeld. Right. So everybody was the guy with the sport coat with the sleeves rolled up, and, hey, what's going on? I had a situation in traffic. And I wasn't doing that. So I would work the crowd, and I would do stuff, and I would improvise then. And then I started getting paid as a comic. And I went, well, I'm making money now. I better do what the Seinfeld guy's doing.
Yeah.
And I bought, I got a sport coat, and I started being that guy. And I stunk. And
did you? Or did
yeah.
You? Okay.
No, I stunk for years, and everybody told me how funny I was off stage, and I didn't know what they meant. But it clicked. It was like, oh, that's what they mean. Be yourself on stage, dummy. Something clicked, and it was a whole different show. And even the other comics and the wait staff were like, what are you doing differently this week? You're amazing. Like, I went from sucking to amazing, like, just like that. And then I got angry on stage.
Yeah.
And then I would snap, and I would go off on the audiences, because they weren't getting me, man. And I would yell at them. And then that was the other time where, like, I was in Chicago at the Improv in Chicago, and I would hear somebody going, he's going nuts! And then all the comics would come running in to watch me go crazy on audiences. Right. Just like all that anger from high school was just unleashed on a guy going, you suck.
Yeah.
Oh, I suck, sir? You 4 years of anger.
It's one of my favorite things to see in the world.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I think we're good. Yeah, I'm not going to end an interview saying, I think we're good.
Why not?
That doesn't seem right.
Why not? What if that's your catchphrase? That's your catchphrase.
I think we're good. And then just don't acknowledge you at all. Move on to the next thing. Yeah, we're good.
I like it. I think it sets you apart. It makes you unique.
No, Jimmy, we're good. No, honestly, thank you so much for being on.
My
pleasure.
Really
appreciate it.
I look forward to seeing how you edit this down and make it work.
We'll see. Cheers.
Hey, that's how you end it.
There it is.
Hey, that's a win, guys. That's a win.
Listen, if that's not a win, then I don't know. I better give up.